on? As always, we start the pod with a quick little wellness check. Why are you laughing, bro? Just want to make sure you're doing okay, bro.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I am blessed because I know my team is going on to the next round of our with near certainty. You know what I mean? So I'm
Mhm.
blessed.
Wow.
I'm blessed.
What,
I'm blessed.
CJ, can you please remind me what league is he talking about? I'm really confused.
Actually, before that, did we clarify who they're playing? Laurent, did you figure that out? Who you guys play in the next round?
Some team that I can't pronounce the name.
What
We'll just
country are
say
they
that.
Chill.
from?
We'll just say that much. And like I told you guys the last spot, why would I care? Like I don't understand. Like why would I care?
No, because it's
Where
good to
where did you
know
see?
and like study your opponents and shit. Like it's good to
No,
know.
it's not. It's Maresca's job to do that. That's Maresca's job and the team to do that if they feel they need to. I don't got to do that. I just gotta
You're not
sh
invested as a fan?
I just gotta show up once kickoff, right? Once that happens, I just gotta show up and watch, and that's it,
Wait, so are you
and
showing
cheer
up
them on.
with a Chelsea kit or not without a Chelsea kit?
I'll decide the day of. I'll decide the day of. But I
So
feel like
you
maybe that game is not even. I feel like it's not even worth, getting the kit ready and whatnot. So,
Are you confirming to all the fans that you do in fact have a Chelsea kit?
oh yeah, the boy been having a Chelsea kit.
Hmm. We know you have a
Yeah, man,
United kit.
I have a United kit.
You do.
Really? You seen that?
I seen that.
All right, show me this United kit, please.
I'm not at your
On
house.
on live television. Show it for
I'm
the world to see.
I'm not at your house to go through your closet and take out the United kit and show everyone.
Right? This United kit that no one has seen except for you.
Mm, mm, mm.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Funny enough, I have the screenshot actually. So
Right? Yeah.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
guess
but
Yeah.
I'll save it for a rainy. I'll save it for a rainy day.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Might
sure.
I might
If
end
you
up
have
on our Insta.
produce the evidence if you have it. If not, then there is nothing to prove.
Go on now, go on
Yeah, at a
now.
later time.
Yes.
Wait,
It's
At a
always
so
later
wait, hold
it's
time.
on.
always like that. It's always
Can
like
we
that.
just quickly expose Laurent for a second? So
Go for it.
after the last episode,
Mm.
this man, let me just scroll up. So when CJ sent that video of the song, the next morning, um, Laurent was quoted in saying, "Man's went to bed having nightmares of this dude chanting Kona Kona Kona." Bro, that's how does it feel? Like, are you sleeping better now? Like, are you still having the nightmares?
Nah, after a good uh, how do you say, a good night's prayer,
Good night's prayer. Oh, so
Uh,
like after the
yeah,
meditation and stuff?
yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. That's
Mm.
actually what you guys caught me doing. But yeah, after that, I can say I'm sleeping well.
Okay.
The nightmares are no longer. Um, you know, but I think what's even more worrying is, well, if I was an Arsenal fan,
Hmm.
is the fact that we have an anthem for corners. Going to show that that's where our goals are coming from for the most part.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
Mm.
dangerous place to be when you think about it. No,
Mm.
no, no. Like I'm asking you, it's not rhetorical. Like you guys don't
No,
think that's a dangerous
oh,
place?
not really.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys say so, I think Madrid is gonna have a bit to say about that. But
Why are you so like, you know, why are you on the Madrid game so much?
because I think that's where you guys fail. That's to me is where your season just for good is that's where it ends. That's where it's pretty much the end of the road at that point.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And
When you're ready, Laurent, I will bring out the Man United kit. If I won't bring it out this pod, but it's just there in the background lingering for for a special occasion. That's all I'm gonna say
Listen,
because
you can
there's a
bring
lot
it.
of chatter going around right now.
You
A
can
lot of chatter.
bring it up whenever, wherever. Amen.
A lot of chatter from a guy who doesn't even know who his team is playing next in a competition that he's boasting about. Like, jeez,
Because I
that's
don't gotta
crazy.
know. I don't gotta know. I just gotta show
I
up.
mean, yeah, you do. I would too if fucking my team played in like the B Tech fucking Sunday League. To be honest, like
I think BTEC Southern League is pushing it, but
it's not pushing it, bro. It's a
it,
glorified European trophy that no one even cares. It's not even televised. You're playing against teams who have names longer than like a Wi-Fi password. Like, bro,
it it indeed is
holy, bro.
televised, by the way. It is televised.
On what
Oh
channel?
yeah, where have you been watching it?
I know. I think BT Sports.
BT Sports? Are you fried?
BT Sports.
Well, CJ, you know how this guy has no idea where to watch it because BT Sports isn't called BT Sports anymore.
What is it called?
I'm not telling you.
Huh?
I'm not telling you because you don't know.
Jeez. Wait. You're gonna give out this claim and not dare to prove that your claim is
It's
accurate.
not a claim. Anyone who doesn't live under a rock knows that BT Sports hasn't been called BT Sports since the beginning of last year.
Then
They're
what is it
bought out.
called?
I'm not gonna tell you because you don't know. Because so clearly you don't even watch Chelsea,
So,
bro.
so
I
you're
just
really not.
caught you, bro. I literally just caught you in a
So you're really
lie.
not. Listen,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, and as far as everyone else is concerned, right? Your claim doesn't stand until you can prove to us that it is not called BT Sports.
Why? So you can be like, oh yeah, yeah, I remember it's actually called that. No,
No,
Laurent's the type to like cat like copy your homework in school, and then when it comes to exam time, he's the first one with his hand up, even though he got it from
exactly.
your notes. One of
hey,
those ones.
Exactly.
hey, y'all already know. Y'all already know.
Anyways, once you find out what BT Sports is actually called and where to actually watch the conference league, then maybe you can come because BT Sports or the new name of it would never show conference league.
All right, that's blessed. And on that note, once you guys win that Champions League trophy, then maybe you can tell me a thing or two about European titles. Yeah, yeah, mate.
Is that the only thing that this guy has?
Uh, no, no, but I think it's a very important thing.
Okay.
I think it's a very important thing. I'm asking for where the credentials
The
without
credential.
without without going back to page 10 on the CV. Where are the credentials?
I mean, you're going back pages on your CV. What has Chelsea done in the last 3, 4 years?
No, I said page 10 because I know you're gonna bring me back to 1990s, probably early 2000s,
No,
right? Like,
I'm trying to stay factual. I'm talking about the last 2, 3 seasons. What has Chelsea done? Has Chelsea been relevant to anything? Have they spent $1 billion to be a top four fighting team?
listen, apart from the fact that we lost, okay, given the whole geopolitical situation that was the invasion, or sorry, however you want to coin it, right? The war, Russia, Ukraine, and that caused us to lose our owner, okay, which was a big piece to our to us winning and having success, right?
Hmm.
Cry me a river. You know that song by Justin Timberlake? You get the violin up.
Hey man,
Cry
listen,
me a river.
I'll cry you a river if you guys can cry me an ocean, because your tears
Like,
have
bro,
been,
we have
your
so many of those excuses that we could pull to as to why we haven't been as successful in the last 10, 20 years.
injuries. Like what else? What else? You guys have had a stable manager for the past how many years, right? Um,
Hmm.
Mind you, I've just described to you what happened. We lost an owner. That's it's not a small thing. It has
Yes,
a
but
direct
your
impact.
owner that came in did not have
No,
debt.
it's
He did not have
it,
debt of a stadium. So when Wenger came into the Emirates, he had the debt of the stadium, so he couldn't spend money until that was paid off. So if you really want to go down this route, I'll literally like you're gonna get schooled so bad. It's not gonna even be like you thought the BT Sport thing was embarrassing. Like this, you're just gonna get schooled beyond measure, bro. So
listen,
Jeez.
whatever excuses you think you have for why your club hasn't won in the last like how many years, right? Because you're talking Wenger, right? So how many years?
you're
How many
going
years are we
back to
talking now?
Abramovich.
Yeah, Abramovich. When did that happen? That's probably like 4 years, no?
Yes, but even prior to
Yeah,
that,
yeah, 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 yeah. That's 4 years. If you're talking Wenger, when did Wenger come in?
19,
Yo, this guy and his Chat GPT, bro. I love it. I love it.
19,
Keep doing that.
when did he,
Keep doing that.
1998? Was it
Keep doing that,
1998 or
bro.
1999?
Shit. If I'm the
When
guy
Wenger came
that's
in.
yeah,
Yeah,
if I'm the guy that's like copying off of other people, you're the guy that has his freaking cell phone under the desk, asking Chat GPT for like the fucking answers as the exam has been written. Like, damn, my guy, bro. Just
I was actually, you know what
it's
I
no,
was
no, no, no.
actually Googling? I
From the
can even
top,
show
from the
you,
top,
I
from the
can
top of your
even,
head, from the top of your head, from the top of your head. We want to know what your knowledge from the top of your head. Come
I think
on,
it was 1999.
come on, come
I think it
on.
was
I can still
1999.
see your fingers, your
I
Twitter
was
fingers
actually
typing.
Googling to see when
Uh,
Abramovich left. He was forced to sell the club in May 2022. That's when he was forced to sell. So prior to leaving, he won the Champions League. That was it. But since he left, you guys haven't done shit.
Yeah, that's my point. 2022, mind you, that's when he was forced to sell. I believe the situation happened before that.
Correct.
So there's a bit of a period where it's in limbo. There's uncertainty.
Correct.
Players are deciding whether to stay or to leave. Yeah, but I'm just saying that for us,
Let's see.
as to where we are now currently, that was a major force that played into that.
Okay, and see, but here, so basically, essentially, what we're talking about is the financials, because obviously, unfortunately, with pro sport, professional sport, it's not just sport; it's business, right? And we're saying a similar thing happened to us in our transition when we left
So
Highbury, our
I'm
most
I'm
successful
not
period
saying it's
ever.
just the financials. Abramovich was not just financials. Let's get that out, right?
Well,
Yeah, there's a
his
financial aspect,
financials
but
helped you guys win. Chelsea was bought to
no,
be a big club. Let's be real. We have
but
history, but you guys were bought, and you guys became
but more
a
no no
bought
no.
club
But what
that
I'm
won
saying is
trophies based on money.
what I'm saying in that and CJ, don't even try to act like you haven't told me
It's
what
true.
Abramovich has done with us.
He has.
Besides the
I
money,
acknowledge it for
no
sure. Yeah.
no 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 no. Aside from the money, right? That's what I'm talking about. Aside from the money,
Which is what?
you've come to me, right? And you've even said word for word, the guy was cutthroat, right? We
Yeah.
can use a guy like Abramovich at our club. You
Yeah,
said
Yeah.
we
those
just
words,
got that. We got that
but
on
not
Andrea
but
Berta.
no no no, but not for his pockets. That's not what
Oh, come on,
you
bro.
weren't alluding to that when
Don't even start this
no
mad, bro.
no, because
Don't
if
even
that's the
waste my
case, if
breath
that's
with
the
this.
case, if that's the case, right?
Oh
Get
my
anyone
God.
else other than Abramovich that has the same bankroll. Anyone
You
else.
have someone who has the same bankroll. He
No,
just
no,
won a
no, no, no.
fucking billion
No, no,
dollars.
no, no, no. That's what I'm saying. If you're saying that, right, then anyone else other than Abramovich, if the bankroll is the only factor as to Abramovich's
I don't
success.
recall CJ saying that the bankroll is the only
No, no,
factor,
no,
What?
but the
because this was a
bankroll.
conversation we had outside of this between CJ and I.
Oh
He's
yeah, yeah,
told me,
but we're
yeah,
trying to
I've
stick to the facts of the matter right now. That's here. He says, she says, same thing with your United jersey, but we actually have the facts. So until you have the facts and
then
you can pull it
produce,
up,
produce,
then
produce,
produce it. You can't
produce.
produce it, but CJ can definitely produce it. So, anyways, um,
Wait, what?
you're talking about sticking to facts. Yes, of course. Bramovich had the deepest pockets. Now the deepest pockets are the fucking state-owned teams of Newcastle. They can't do anything because PSR is there. If PSR was there when Abramovich took over, Chelsea wouldn't have done half the shit that they did. And you know that's a fact. That's a fact. City was bought. City has zero fucking history.
And same with Chelsea too. Like
Bro,
Listen,
they're cut from the same
Fulham,
City,
cloth.
Nottingham
it,
Forest, fucking
City,
Leeds United have history. These
City
teams
has trophies. If you
bought trophies.
listen, you can call it whatever you want. Is the fact is they have trophies, my guy. That's it. That's it. At the end of the
So
day,
what's gonna happen?
whether
Which yeah,
So hold on. What's gonna happen when the 115 tarnishes all those trophies? What's gonna happen then? You're gonna still say, "Oh, they have trophies, but they cheated." Like, come on, bro.
tarnish is how? When you mean tarnish? When you say tarnish, what do you mean?
They cheated to get their trophies. They embellished
So
their fucking paperwork. They embellished their finances to be able to bring in X amount of players and spend more
do
than
they
money
still have
than
the
they could.
trophies? Yes or no?
Yes, but I
I,
put an asterisk next to every single trophy.
bro.
Why,
The fact is,
what did this guy, he meditated and now he's like coming up with some random ass fucking arguments. What is going on
no,
today?
it's not random. It's not random because the fact is that even if the 115, when you're saying 115, it's what the charge against them, right?
Yes,
Even if they're found guilty,
Charges.
what charges? Yeah, fine, charges.
Mm.
What is it? 115 charges?
yes.
115 charges. Yeah.
Okay, 115 charges. Even if, right, they are found guilty or whatnot, do they still have the trophies?
Who knows? Maybe
Uh,
as part of that, they get stripped of the trophies because if it keeps going back and they get point deductions for those seasons,
yeah,
United could have a
right.
trophy.
Yeah, right. Come
You
on,
never
bro.
know.
Let's 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 live in the real world here. All
But
right?
you never
Like,
know. They're already talking about relegation. So what are you talking? I am living in the real world. These are the things that they're talking about.
all right, you know what?
You and your BT Sports, which is fucking from
No,
like
because all of
2022. Like,
this
get up to speed, bro.
at this point, all this is speculation. All right, we're speculating on an outcome that has not yet happened. Okay, so until then, the trophies are very well still in their cabinet.
Sure.
Okay, all right. So until then, right, we can consider them
Yeah, but I'm
winners.
asking you a question, and now you're just thinking about, oh, we're gonna talk about. I'm asking you a question, and you're
Well,
just
yeah, because you're
deflecting.
asking me, well, yeah, what if the sun doesn't rise tomorrow morning? You know what I mean? Like, it's like
You're just deflecting. You just don't want to
no,
answer the
no,
question.
I'm not deflecting.
You
I'm
are
just telling
deflecting. So
you.
answer the question. Don't you think that it would get tarnished if they're found that they're cheaters?
No, the trophies
Oh
are still in their
my
cabinet. No,
God.
no, no, man. And like, I mean, there's a lot of I swear there's other examples in sports.
Name me
Um,
one.
yeah, I'm trying to think. I've heard of but usually athletes, it's very like it's also very rare like for
You know
them
how much of a
to.
damage Juventus took when all that shit came out with them like paying refs off and they got that big point deduction and they fought to get that point deduction back? That took a huge
Yeah, but
hit
pay
on their reputation.
yeah they so they did suffer the point deduction, right?
Yes. And they
And
appealed
then they
it, and
got
then the points came back, and then they're like, no, you're actually going to
okay,
suffer the point deduction. So, like, you're talking about things that are
okay,
like, if you're trying to build a history, quote unquote, like that
okay.
tarnishes
Now,
your reputation.
what I would like to so how do you measure that then? Is what I'm asking you.
What do you mean? How do you measure that?
Well, it's very easy. If you say someone's reputation has been tarnished, right? Like you measure that now by how many people now don't want to hire him for the job, right? Like so how like if you're saying Juve's reputation was tarnished, right? How do you measure that? Did they lose their fan base? Did they what were
Yeah, there's
direct
parts of the fan
consequences?
base. I mean, the difference between Juve and City is Juve actually have a fan base. City are plastic fans. It's fans that just go there to visit. They're not real fans. You go to any City game and you hear the away fans. You don't hear the City fans. There's no such thing as City fans. Name me one City fan.
I know a few City fans.
I've never met a City fan in my entire life.
Really?
Never met a genuine City fan in my life.
Hey man, you should get out the house more, bro, because
Bro, I'm
I
out
met a
the house
few.
all the time. I've been to fucking London, been to Manchester. I've been everywhere.
And no
Trust
City
me.
fan.
Nope. I've seen a lot of United fans. I'm talking to one right now.
Jeez, nice. That's
Jeez.
I'm touched. I'm touched, but yet again, it's
This man
almost
wears
like
every other
a hundred.
color than the color of the team that he allegedly supports.
This is another false accusation.
How's that a false accusation?
At this,
Fact. When have you worn blue?
my
We can go
gosh.
back. We can go back. I can go on
Listen,
Instagram and I can post all the
let's
things
not
that
make
you want.
this Crips versus Bloods, all right? Because or whatever else, whatever you're trying to do, okay? Like I can wear any color I want at the end of the day, all right? But my point is this: if you're gonna tell me that I am XX whatever like fan, like at least prove, like show me the proof. Show me the proof.
Don't
That's all
worry,
I'm
it's
asking.
coming. For the fans, like we're
You
just
know,
waiting for the right moment. It's coming. Don't worry.
yeah, you guys work on that AI
Yeah,
generator,
don't worry. We
like
got
get
you.
my
We
face,
got
my.
you.
All right, all right, all
We
right.
got you. Anyways, welcome back. Episode 10. As always, you guys, just listen to us banter for 20 minutes or so. As always, joined by my co-host, the real co-host, CJ, with that fresh cut. Man's about to go on vacation. And then we got the other guy, just the other guy.
The one and only.
The
The
Chelsea,
one
the
and
Chelsea,
only.
Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool. CJ, am I missing any other teams?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham
Don't forget that one.
Forest fan.
Jeez. It's great.
Um,
It's crazy because all the teams you're listing are like they're performing. I mean, I guess I'm a winner. You know what I
Man
mean?
City's
At the end of the day,
performing. Man
I
City's
guess
performing.
Chelsea's performing.
Chelsea's performing, bro.
I
This
guess
guy,
I
yo,
guess
you're
I'm relatively speaking to you compared to you guys, bro. Shit. I mean, I guess it's a good thing you're not saying Arsenal
yo,
because
CJ.
y'all
This is fucking amazing, eh? Now
Hold
people
on.
like now
Hold
it's saying
on.
relative to Arsenal. Wow, like we're
Hold on.
literally
Hold on.
living
Hold on. Yeah.
rent free
what
in your mind.
what are you guys winning?
Laurent.
Again,
Chelsea. I'm
what
gonna
are
ask
you
the question one more time.
what are you guys
Chelsea's
winning?
performing.
What are you
Laurent,
guys winning?
Chelsea's performing.
What are you guys winning? Relative to you
Answer my
guys?
question first, and then I will
Trophy
answer yours.
trophy wise, relative to you guys, we are performing.
You okay? So you're going on
Trophy
the preface
wise?
that you think you guys are gonna win. What if you don't win Conference League?
No, hold on, Murdoch. Give me a second. Let me tag in. Trophy wise,
If
I'm
time
pretty
if
sure
if
the
time
last
is
time you guys won a trophy was the last time we won a trophy. Albeit you guys won the Champions League, obviously, but that was 2020, and we won a trophy in 2020, right?
what'd you guys win?
So we won
What'd
the
you guys
FA
win?
Cup.
Champions
Okay,
League, FA Cup.
okay,
Champions League,
but you're
FA
hold on,
Cup.
but you're a logical
So
guy. You're a logical guy. Let's stick
relatively
to the facts.
speaking,
The facts is that we both last won a trophy in 2020. So why are you talking to me about trophies?
because we won the Champions League. Why are you talking to me about the
In
FA Cup?
2020.
Why are you talking to me about the
Bro,
FA Cup?
hold on. Like I said, we're not making this about Champions League versus FA Cup. I said,
It,
when's the
it
last time you
definitely
won a
is.
trophy?
It's about levels, bro. It's about
Okay,
level. If we're
so if
talking
you're gonna change the
performance,
goalposts, I will change the goalposts and end this discussion right here.
the
You won
goalpost
the
was always
Champions
that.
League.
The
Hold on, you
goalpost was
won the
always that.
Champions League. Congratulations, Arsenal. Check how many trophies Arsenal has in the cabinet, and check how
Big,
many trophies Chelsea has in the cabinet.
big
The
fucking.
discussion is over. The
And then
discussion is
again,
over.
they went to the last page on the CV. Again,
What do you mean? This is
again,
what's relevant right now. How many
again.
trophies does Chelsea have today, and how many Chelseas does Arsenal have today?
Oh
Just do
my
that fact check for
gosh.
me and bring it back to me next episode.
Again,
Because
again. The
Anyways,
history books. The history books.
isn't
You
Champions
know.
League history books for you guys when you won 5 years ago? How
Oh
old were
my.
you 5 years ago? What were you doing 5 years ago? Everything is in the history if it happened in the past.
Oh my
What
gosh.
is present? What stands
All right,
present
all right.
today?
Ancient
Arsenal's
history.
trophies,
Ancient
Chelsea's
history.
trophies.
Ancient history. Is that it, right? If I use that term, ancient history.
We've
Okay.
given you guys 20 years to catch up in terms of league
Ancient
titles,
history.
and you haven't. Ancient
Ancient
history.
history, right?
What's ancient history to you?
Ancient history.
Were you alive when we won those titles? Yes, you were.
Oh my
So
gosh. Yeah, this is crazy. Do you even
um,
remember winning those trophies that you brag about in the trophy cabinets that are collecting dust? Like, you guys remember that as a vivid
of
memory?
course,
Yeah?
of course,
Yeah, what were you guys doing? Probably
I was
getting
in
your
grade four, fam.
diapers changed, bro. Get the fuck out. Get
Bro,
the
I
fuck
was in
out.
grade four. While you
Bro.
were probably watching Arsenal, and then you decided to switch to
Uh,
Chelsea, and then you
yeah.
decided to switch to United when Chelsea wasn't doing the
Funny.
business, and then you decided to switch to City when Chelsea wasn't
Funny.
doing the business. You know what I'm saying? At least we stay loyal to the badge, fam.
Funny. 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 But it's cute though. I like how you guys, you like to twist things. Oh, we won it 2021, FA Cup, right? And then
I think the only
uh
person that's twisting the conversation is
nope,
you because you talk about
That's
trophies
what
and
I'm
then you're
saying.
like,
nope,
oh, Champions League and this
nope.
and that. It's like, bro, you really want to talk about
Bro, that's
trophies?
like think about it this way, right? If someone won the Champions League and you guys won the FA Cup, like where's the argument? It's almost like someone saying, okay, what did your country win last, right? And then I say the World Cup. And then you're gonna tell me, well, the year after you guys won maybe the whatever
Fam,
trophy is for
what matters? Okay,
your country. It's not the same. It
How
is
many
not the
trophies does
same.
Chelsea Football Club have? How
It is
many
not the
trophies does
same.
Arsenal Football Club have?
It is not the
Who
same.
who has more trophies in their cabinet? That's all I want to know.
Not the same. My God,
Oh, it's not the same. Okay.
you guys weren't even in existence when those trophies were like,
That's
at least
factually incorrect. I said we're going to talk about facts only. Talk to me about facts. That's a factually incorrect
stick
statement that
stick
you
to your
just made.
stick to your timeline, bro.
What's the timeline?
Oh,
We've all been alive since '94, I believe. Well, me and you,
Yeah,
Laurent, and Murdad, you're '95, right?
9-4.
'94. Oh, we've all been alive in '94. So in our timeline, Laurent would have been alive and present to see Arsenal win 3 Premier League titles. Okay, at minimum. So if we're sticking to relevant timelines, you know what I'm saying? I've given you 20 years to catch us in league titles, Laurent, since you guys have been bought for your history, and you guys still have not surpassed us yet in league titles. So all I'm saying is, trophies wise, it's still no comparison. You guys have a couple of European cups, a couple of cute European cups. That's cool. But until you surpass our trophy cabinet, then we can revisit these conversations.
Two Champions League, my guy. Yo, still.
Oh,
Congratulations.
this guy's on ChatGPT right now. You seen that? He grabbed his phone quickly, looked down, tried
No,
to
I'm
get the
actually
fact check.
I'm
Bro,
actually
did
checking
you
something else.
find out what BT Sports is called now?
No. Funny thing is, I'm actually checking something else on my phone.
Oh yeah,
Fun fact.
yeah.
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 Oh, come on. You think I'm like you?
Anyways. So this will be a little bit of a lighter episode. We're gonna kind of give you guys a little bit of a background of our story. You know, what made us fall in love with the sport, what made us fall in love with our team, and for the purposes of Laurent, we're gonna just ask him to stick to Chelsea, no other team that he follows, just stick to one team.
I like that. I like that.
So yeah, that's kind of the pod for today, just kind of keeping it a little light. Um, so without further ado, first question to both of you, and I'll answer last. What was your first exposure to football?
Laurent, the floor is yours.
Oh, is it? Jeez, like always, man. All right.
Yeah.
So first exposure. Oof. So I think the first time, if I were to really think back, that I kicked the soccer ball was age 5, local club. And then played till I was 8 back home, right? Back in the Congo. And then I came here, and that's kind of when I, stopped really playing as much as I did. But yeah, that's first memory. Yeah, just remember playing locally, right, every day in the neighborhood. Yeah.
CJ, how about you?
Mine, yeah. So I was born and raised here, so I would have grown up here playing at a very young age. How old was I when I first started knocking ball? It's probably sometime in like, I want to say the kindergarten. Um, and then I think I really started taking it seriously, going into grade 1. I want to say maybe around like 6 years old. But I started sort of playing soccer, and like I said, in the kindergarten age, got into house league. Funny enough, then my parents put me in basketball. Specifically, my dad put me in basketball because he thought I might have been a hooper. Funny enough, for my height at the time, I was tall from a very young age, um, which again, it's all relative because basketball height is like 6 foot. I'm 6'2" for the listeners. So like I was kind of on two or on record to becoming like what my dad was hoping for was for me to be like 6 foot plus. So that was going to kind of take me on the basketball route, but um, I think we realized quickly that my real love was for soccer or for football, as I like to call it. Um, and yeah, so it kind of went from the transition of starting off playing soccer, then going into basketball for a little bit, and then falling right back where I belong. I feel like which was playing the beautiful game of football, and started at a very young age. Like I said, probably grade 1. On a competitive level where I went from there and didn't look back really. So yeah, man, definitely. And then as we'll get into eventually, like I think a big thing in shaping my love for football obviously was watching the Arsenal and the Arsenal Football Club. So we'll get into that. But yeah, I think Murdad, it's time for you to kind of share your story as well.
Yeah, for me, I think I was around the same age. I think I was 6. When I was in Iran, I would just kick the ball with my cousins, my brother. And then when we moved to Canada, it was like initially that was the only thing that I really knew how to play. I just kind of kept playing, and then I started introducing like volleyball into it as well. And I had a couple of bad like knee injuries and quad injuries that kind of made it a little bit hard to keep going with footy. Um, Never played super competitive. I think I played like rep 1 year, but I just couldn't. My knee would like balloon up after every single game, and it was too much for me, and I just kind of stuck to house league. But yeah, it was. I think it was really my brother who really got me into it. from a young age. Um, just a lot of the memories and a lot of the photos that I have that I kind of look back is me and him just like kind of kicking the ball back and forth. He's 10 years older than me, but um, it's always just been something to like bring like the family back together, you know? Like even now when the cousins get together a lot, like I think we talked about it too, like just like running FIFA and stuff. I'm like going back to like FIFA 94, 95, 96, and just like FIFA 99 and like just kind of the progression. Now that it's changed, it's really stupid, but like all of that was my exposure to footy. Um, but like you said, like um what really made me fall for it, and we'll kind of go to the second question is um, what really made me fall in love with Arsenal um, was just watching Arsenal win the Invincibles. At the time, I'll be honest, because I was so young, I didn't really grasp the significance of it because my brother was like ecstatic. He's 10 years older than me, so he was through the roof. Um, but like as an adult now, going back and watching some of those games, especially during international break when I'm like itching for football and just watching some of those reruns, um, it really hit home like the level and the difference in game style. Um, so for me, like that's what made me, fall in love with Arsenal more. And obviously winning the FA Cups, watching the transition from a Highbury to the Emirates, like and then I think I told you, CJ, like a couple of years ago when I went to watch Arsenal Liverpool at the Emirates when we were at club hospitality level, like that just even took it from like the love that I had like exponentially more. Um, if
Mm.
if you've been for any listener, like if you've actually been to a football game, not American football, like footy, you will understand what I mean. That you can't put it into words when you watch your favorite team and you're with the fans and like it just takes the love to another level. I don't know. I really don't know how to put it into words because it still gives me chills.
Mm.
But that's what made me fall. That was my first exposure and what made me fall for Arsenal. But um, Laurent, what made you fall for your only one team? One team,
Yeah, yeah.
Chelsea. What made you fall in love with Chelsea? Was there a
Choose
moment? Was
wisely.
there a player? Was there a match that made you fall in love with the Blues?
I mean, listen, before the accumulation of trophies they've gathered since I was born in 1994, which is quite a lot, you know, a lot of big trophies. But it was Mr. Didier Drogba. Didier Drogba. That was the guy that really sealed it in for me. From a fellow African, just seeing his play style. And back then, even like when I first started playing, my position was as a striker, right? So seeing a guy score like that, right? The type of goals you're scoring, is really, eye-dropping, right? And inspiring. And on top of that too, when you get to hear how he even got to the level he did, right? Immigrant, I believe, in France, and he got scouted late, very late compared
Yeah.
to I mean what the average age is, right? For that, he didn't go through the system like other players did, if I remember correctly. And yeah, he made it big, right? So I think for me, that was a very positive thing to see. And then once I saw blue, man, I was hooked. I was hooked, and I
Until I
never
saw
looked.
red, then I was hooked.
No, 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 no. I never looked back. So this is for the audience at home. Whatever you're hearing, whatever lies you're throwing on my name, it is not true. I stuck it out with the Blues ever since. Even
What's
during the
what's your stadium called?
even during the drought, the droughts. Listen, I'm not gonna answer your questions that you're trying to get me to. What's your stadium
This
called?
man
Come on,
doesn't even know what the
really?
stadium's called.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't. I don't know what it's called. All right. Well, at this point, anytime these questions we ask, I'm gonna just say I don't know. I don't know. All right. And only I know whether or not I truly support. Right. So if I'm lying, then shit, I'm deceiving myself at the end of the day. Right. So
Oh
yeah, no.
shit.
So uh, yeah, for me, the bridge is home.
Okay. Yeah, eh? Had to toss that in there. CJ, just before I let you answer, the one thing I do want to say is watching the trajectory of some of these like African players or like South American players that come up from nothing and they just like become these multi-million dollar athletes. And just when you hear their stories, like I think Bruno Guimaraes recently was talking about like where he came from. Obviously we've all heard of Gabriel Jesus' story, Neymar's story, Messi, like we've seen Ronaldo's progression. It also like, and I'm not trying to get too deep here with it, but like it also shows like hard work does eventually pay off, right? um So for me, like watching our like the players that we love, or just like watching the development of the players on a team, um, it does really hit home, like that team aspect and that development. Um, but CJ, what made you fall in love with the
Mm.
goals?
Yeah, I kind of want to like piggyback on some of the things that Laurent said too. Like, and the time that Laurent was supporting Chelsea, like they had not just Drogba, there was a few like influential African players at the time. They had Michael Essien, uh, John Obi Mikel, Makelele, Solomon Kalou. Like there were some, there was a strong African presence at that successful Chelsea team at the time, and so definitely big up to all the Africans and those at a young age, young footballers from the African community supporting. Like definitely Chelsea was big for that, and I know Drogba was obviously a leading candidate in that. So that's an inspiring story for like a lot of young ballers and a lot of young Africans at the time. Certainly those that I grew up around for sure. So guys like Drogba really paved the way, and sort of like a similar transition for me in my love for Arsenal. When Arsene Wenger came in, he was doing things and he was starting to break traditional English records with the teams that he was fielding, and like some of the culture that he was bringing to Arsenal Football Club. Like he was becoming one of the first managers to field an all black starting 11 team, back in the Invincibles times and so on. Like and if you look across that Invincibles team, there's a lot of you know black descent players like across the back line. You had your Saul Campbell's, Colo Torre, Ashley Cole, and Lauren. In midfield, obviously Patrick Vieira, one of the all-time greats in the Premier League. Thierry Henry obviously goes without saying up top, and so just in terms of culture and what he was bringing to the Premier League at the time, he also really paved the way in what was a very traditional English
Mhm.
type league and nation, obviously, from the football side of things. Before Wenger came in, it was obviously you had your Man Uniteds and your Liverpool's dominating, but there's all very traditional English style clubs, very British, very like patriotic style clubs. When Wenger came in, like I said, I just found a lot of that changing, and and the three of us here on this pod, like we all come from minority groups. We're all in Canada here, and we're all minorities in this country, and so we can all appreciate a story where minorities get a chance to
Yeah.
flourish and thrive. And yeah, man. So for me, being a young black athlete at the time, I was very inspired by the fact that, and same with Merdad. Like obviously, I seen Arsenal success growing up when I was a very young kid. Fortunately for me, I had the privilege of having my father, who, as a young athlete, like for me, I always find, and even when I coach like today, I find it's important to not only play the game but to study the game. And I think again, the three of us will appreciate that. I know Laurent's done a lot of that growing up. Like you watch it on TV at the professional level, like that's how you also really catch up, right? It's one thing to
Yep.
play, but you got to study it and watch it and see what the pros do and see how they move. And that's what I was doing a lot when I was younger, when I was a young athlete. And my father, who was really into football, and he got me into Arsenal. And my dad was a really big Arsenal fan. And I'll never forget, kind of him sitting me down one day after my soccer practice as a young kid, maybe 5, 6 years old, and I go home and I watch Arsenal, and he said, "Look at these players." At that time, again, the best team in the league. These guys haven't lost a game for however long. You got your rock at the back and Sol Campbell. He used to tell me specifically about names. Patrick Vieira in midfield, this 6'4" beast in midfield. Thierry Henry up front, obviously, and those who know me and will get to know me knows like that's my guy. Similar to Laurent and Didier Drogba, Thierry Henry is my guy. I'm sitting in a different setting today, but if you've been watching previous episodes, you'll see I have Henri on the wall behind me in a different setting. Just kind of a figure, somebody that I looked up to. I'm a defender, I'm a center back, but Thierry Henry was one of those guys that made me want to be a striker until I realized at a very rapid pace that I was not a striker. I had to fall back into defense. But yeah, man, Thierry Henry was one of those guys that he'll make you want to be a striker. He'll want to make you wear the long sleeve, gloves with the high socks and the
Yeah.
he had the drip, man. He had the swagger on and off the pitch. And that Invincibles team that my dad used to talk about all the time was just something that I really gravitated towards as a kid. You can imagine a kid just staring at a screen in awe of what he's watching. These players, like these players, just with a winning mentality, the culture and the vibes. The way we played football, the way Wenger instilled good football into us, really made me like fall in love with football. And like obviously at that time, watching the beautiful game, I also believe in playing the game right, which is playing good football, knocking the ball around, quick movement across the pitch, skillful players. I like playing the game that way, in terms of how to keep possession of the ball, but also penetrate at the same time. And Arsenal was just ruthless at that time. And yeah, man, I think at that time with those players, as I mentioned, honorable mentions to obviously players like Dennis Bergkamp, one of the all-time greats as well, Robert Pires, Freddie Youngberg, like just world class all across that team, And I also have like a little bit of a frame of all the Invincibles from 2004 that one and who was in that team at that time, and it inspires me to this day. Even though I've stopped kind of playing at the highest level, at a competitive level, but every time I play and every time I go out, feel like it's part of me that the Arsenal culture that it may sound silly to some, but the Arsenal culture that I carry with me when I go onto the field. I want to kind of idolize and not idolize, sorry, but kind of mirror how the greats of the game played, and especially for my own club, how the game should be played and how I grew up playing, and I want to kind of keep those going in terms of my values and my beliefs, because it's true, your football club can shape your values and your belief
Oh
on
yeah.
how the game should be played,
Oh yeah.
and so I kind of keep that with me to this day. But yeah, man, definitely at that time was a big factor in the Invincibles, and the league cups, sorry, the league titles that we were winning at the time, and the players that we had in the club, kind of stuck with me, and the culture of it made me really, appreciate the club and fall in love with the club. And yeah, man, proud Gooner to this day.
On that shaping, um, over the last year or two, we've had a bunch of weekends, CJ. Not with you, Lauren, as much, but with you, CJ, like going back and forth in our group chat, um, just venting, good moments, bad moments, um, and I want to segue to what is your best fan moment, and what would you say your worst or like your highest moment as a fan of Chelsea or Arsenal? And what's the lowest moment of being a fan of Chelsea or Arsenal? Laurent, I'll give you the floor because I know CJ and I have a couple things that we can probably talk about, but floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, so you're
Start with
talking
the best. Start with the high.
the highs. Oh man, um, there's a few. Um, recent history, I'd say the Havertz knocking that one in for us for
It's
that.
so ironic.
Yep, yep. That was big. And then I believe also Fernando Torres as well, if I remember, yeah, correctly. Same thing. Champions League. Um, there's others. Even when I look back in terms of still Champions League, the Michael Essien goal. That to me was a big one on the left foot. That volley. Yeah, that was pretty big.
Which game was that? Remind
I
us.
believe that was against Barca,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly. Yeah. But um, in terms of lows, Terry missing the PK.
Against United.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, no, that to me was a pretty disheartening moment, simply because for one, um, felt like that was another trophy right there, right?
Hmm.
And plus, I believe Ronaldo missed his, if I remember correctly. Uh, yeah, yeah, I believe Ronaldo.
Yeah,
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 he
yeah,
missed his
yeah,
before,
yeah.
and then um, there's been that. In terms of like recent, I'd say the last probably like 5 years has been a bit of low moments, if I'm being honest, right?
Mm.
Season after season, after the whole Abramovich situation, the club really, just losing its footing, manager after manager. But the difference this time, right? Because we're used to having different managers come in. There just was something missing in terms of the hierarchy, right? Like the authority above. Um, so we felt like even that when the managers were coming in, right, we were unsure as to the result and the performance that they would bring to the club. So yeah, no, so it's been tough. Even this season's particularly, it's been tough. But we hang in there, and we're always looking to pick up something by the end of the season. So yeah,
And picking up the garbage can also counts too.
yeah, man. Listen.
Someone's got to do the dirty work, right?
Hey, you pick up the garbage, you polish it a little bit, right? And then you
Mm.
find that it actually shines if you look at it from a certain angle, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
CJ, what's a high or the best moment being an Arsenal fan, and what would you say the low or worst moment of being a Arsenal fan has been for you?
The high, the highs. Um, so obviously, I think okay. So a big high, obviously, this may sound generic, but is enjoying watching the Invincibles at the time, and also specifically watching Thierry on replay for Arsenal. That's something I'll never take for granted. It was a big privilege. We've had one of the best players, if not the, in my opinion, best player in Premier League history play for our club. And watching that at the time, again, like I said, I'll never take for granted. I think it's a real high to always see Henry, play. Uh, Pretty close to shedding a tear when he retired from football. So yeah, man, like that's one of the icons of the game. So it's a high to get to watch that guy play and him having played for the badge, having played for the club. He made me, if not most around me in my generation, an Arsenal fan. Um, but yeah, and for more simplistic answer, after the I want to say after the trophy drought that we had um, from 2005 to 2014 to see us win that first FA Cup in 2014.
Mm.
The Aaron Ramsey one against Hull
Yeah.
City when we had to come back. The Aaron Ramsey winner with that Santi Cazorla free kick. Um, yeah, that was a good one because that was our first trophy after 9 years. It was at the time, and Wenger looked like he was on his way out, and him winning those FA Cups, consecutively within the space of 4 or 5 years, that kind of saved his job a little bit
Yeah.
more and extended his tenure. So, but yeah, for him to win that first one in 2014 for the first one after a long time, that one is a big one. I feel like that will live long in the memory of a lot of Arsenal fans after a long hiatus of no trophies. I have to point out another really big one for me quickly is again, this may kind of sound ridiculous a little bit too, but the signing of Mesut Ozil for me, that was
Mm.
a big high for me as an Arsenal fan. Um, and my reasons for that is because, and it's something I wish that Arsenal would do to this day, is just sign a big player who's at their peak when at their best now, as opposed to a project signing, as opposed to a signing that's going to
Yeah.
take time. Sign a player who's already world class to walk right into this first 11 now, where you go, wow, that is a world class established star. We got Ozil at a time where he was one of the best at Real Madrid, to the point where Cristiano Ronaldo himself was pissed that he left. He said, Ozil's one of the best players he's ever played with. Ozil used to create for Ronaldo all the time, obviously, mind you. And I used to watch Ozil at Madrid and say, this guy is a world class footballer. One of the best attacking players at the time, one of the
Hmm.
best attacking midfielders of our generation. And I didn't think there'd be a chance in hell, especially the way we moved after we had to, transition from Highbury to the Emirates, and the money that wasn't there to sign a player like Ozil at the time, and 40 mil at that time was a
A
lot of outlay
lot.
on a player. And so to sign him, um, I remember exactly where I was at the time, bro. I remember it was Laurent. It was our second year at York, and we were frosh bosses at the time. And I remember being in a party or being in a club at the time when we were frosh bossing, and just hearing that Ozil signed. Forget partying at the club, bro. I was turning up in the club because Ozil signed for Arsenal, bro. I was gassed. Like I was so amped. Like fuck, man. It was yeah. Ozil was a big player. Obviously, he kind of divided opinion at Arsenal, but at the time that we signed him, everybody will remember that. It's kind of one of those ones as an Arsenal fan. You'll remember exactly where you were at the time that Ozil signed and how hype it was. There was interviews left, right, and center. Streets were flooded because that was a big, a big deal for us at the time. We weren't spending that kind of money and signing those kind of players. So, yeah, man, big up Ozil and that signing. Low for me. Quickly, I'm gonna mention three quickly, and I'm gonna mention one that's gonna make Laurent laugh. The first I'm gonna mention is as a young kid, I watched this one. Didn't touch me as much because I was still very young, but it's still, as I was starting my Arsenal journey, really kind of hit home for me. Was Arsenal losing to Barcelona in the 2006 Champions League final? That one hurt. I don't know, Merdad, how old you were at the time or what was going on at the time for you, but for me, I remember watching that as a young kid, playing footy in my grandmother's basement, and I had the game on beside me. I'm just running around in the basement like you can imagine as a young kid, just knocking the football around forever. And I'm watching the game at the same time. And we were up 1-0. We got a red card, but we were still up 1-0. Sol Campbell put us up 1-0 with a header, and then we went on to lose the game. And it was one of those, it was painful, man. It was painful. And I only appreciate how painful that was now that I'm older. It hits different when you're older now supporting versus when you're younger and you don't understand as much. Geez, I can only imagine how that would kill me now if I was this age watching this a Champions League final.
Devastating.
Which leads me on to my second one, lowest of lows, which was Arsenal losing the fucking Europa League final to Chelsea. We got slapped. Unai Emery's first full season, and Chelsea slapped us up in that final. And we were favorites going to that final. Chelsea was going through a lot of turmoil at the time. They even lost their manager at the end of that season. I think it was it Maurizio Sarri maybe at that time. Maurizio Sarri. But anyways, yeah, we lost. Hazard turned up on us as he always does. Giroud even played against us and did his thing. And I remember us losing that final. And I went to the pub with a guy that me and Laurent know, John Justin, went to high school with us. Shout out John. And we went to watch that game at the pub. And I think it was like 3-0 at the time or 4-0. I left the pub at like the 60th minute, walked out. I said, I can't do this. And yeah, that one was a real bad one.
That was
real bad one. And my final one, I'll say, actually, in terms of a low, because I just reminiscing on things that hit home is I think the Villarreal lost to Unai Emery, Merdad. I think we recently, this is under Arteta, we lost to Villarreal and Unai Emery in the semifinals, I believe it was, maybe of the Europa League.
Yep.
And that one hurt because it's former manager came back to haunt us. Villarreal, we were heavy favorites because who is Villarreal compared to Arsenal, with all due respect, and to lose that when we thought that was our year to win the European Cup is that was a bad one. But in recent times, there's been a lot of lows for Arsenal, and we all banter on here, but Merdad will know, and Laurent knows I'm a very harsh critic of the club because I've seen us in past successes, and I want us to get back to glory. So hopefully glory is around the corner. But yeah, man, these are my experiences, pleasures and pains. Yours, Merdad?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them, I agree with you, and those were a couple that I was gonna say. But one of my best moments, I guess, during COVID, just because everything was so down, the mood was down, everyone was depressed, and just seeing us win a trophy during that time with the team that we had, after sacking Unai Emery, and just going in, just the teams that we had to beat to get to the final and winning the final, that was, and just in the grand scheme of things too, right? It was during COVID. I was going to fucking work. I was wearing a mask. I was wearing fucking shield gloves. I was coming home. It was just shit. It was just a shit time, and that was something that made me really, really happy. Another big high for me was signing Obama Blood Clot Yang. That was fucking sick. Listen, towards the end, same thing with Ozil, people's opinions will be different, but arguably since Thierry Henry, he has been our best striker since TT. Olivier Giroud can get a good shout there, but like when
Van Persie
Aubameyang,
too.
yeah, but like fuck that bitch. But um, but like Aubameyang, when he hit the ground running. When he came from Dortmund, he fucking hit the
Mhm.
ground running. He was
Yeah.
popping up with goals everywhere. Um, again, I still think it's Arsenal's fault for the way that it ended because he was not captain material. He's just a free spirit. He needed to just be, doing his thing. You could have given the captaincy to someone else, but that was also a real big moment for me because I was like, what the fuck? Like, where did that come from? It just came out of the blue. Same thing with the Ozil signing. I remember on that Ozil signing. See, did you remember what Wenger's last interview was before the transfer window? He like gave it a little wink and sneak peek. He's like, we may have a surprise for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like a couple hours later, Mesut Ozil is a gunner.
Crazy.
Um, Honestly, one of the biggest lows. I got to go back to 2016, Leicester.
Oh shit, yeah.
Like, and I don't want to take anything away from Leicester. Um, but man, like that year, like we finished 10 points off first, but that year yeah,
Should have been ours, huh?
yeah, man. Just you look at it, Liverpool was eighth, Man United was fifth, City were fourth, Spurs were third, um, Newcastle got relegated, Norwich got relegated, Villa got relegated. Like we Chelsea were 10th. We just again lack of ambition. Like when you're going for the title. Like I remember that transfer window, we didn't do shit. We didn't do shit. And it's almost like the same thing
Mm.
keeps coming up over and over again, the lack of ambition from the fucking owners. At the time, I think they were still paying off the Emirates, right? 2016.
Yeah, it seemed like we were forever, man. Yeah.
So, that was a tough moment for me. Because I was like, fuck, like we're gonna do it, and then just Jamie Vardy, Riyad Mahrez, and N'Golo Kante, that team, like they were unstoppable. Um, Yeah. One other really good moment that I forgot to say is remember when Thierry Henry came on loan from the MLS
Yeah, yeah.
and he scored that goal and he just ran to hug Wenger. That
Class.
sometimes I see it pop up on my feed and it just gives me chills. Just gives me chills, man. Like again, I think Wenger got to a point where it was like he should have gone a year earlier when he won that FA Cup, you know. Um, But man, that guy changed football,
Mm.
changed Premier League, and he's still trying to change football with these stupid offside rules, with like having your toenail ahead of the line and you're offside. Like that's not what the rule was meant to be, you know? So shout out to him. Um, what do you guys see for the future of your clubs, of our respective clubs? Like where do you see the club going next 5 years? Maybe even 10 years. What do you see? Let's start it the other way. Let's Laurent, you can go. We'll leave it for you last. But CJ, where do you see Arsenal going in the next 5, 10 years?
Hmm. Yeah, good question. To keep it brief, yeah, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, all the banter is good between us and whatnot. We're all bantering off whatever, defending our clubs. But like I said, both of you will know how critical I am of Arsenal at this very moment in time and how I just want to see ambition. And one thing I say to, new fans, younger fans, I feel like a lot of the Arteta defenders and defenders of the club right now generally will maybe be defenders because this is all they've seen, in their lifetime of Arsenal, like, let's say from 2010 onward, the younger fans, all they'll see is like Arsenal getting in top four, winning an FA Cup, and thinking that like, that's success. But I just want, again, I'm critical from the right place, because at the end of the day, we all want what's best for our club. We all support Arsenal Football Club, and so we should want the best for the club, and the best should be the biggest trophies in the game,
Mhm.
And I get disappointed if I see people from my generation or older sort of settling for mediocrity, because if you're from my generation or older, you've seen us lift the biggest trophies and you've seen us do big things to become one of the most iconic teams in the league. Arsenal is, say what anybody wants to say, like factually, Arsenal is the third biggest club in London. United is the biggest club, Liverpool, and then Arsenal. These are the three big traditional clubs of England. And we've come from so much success, and it's like we should be getting back there, and we should demand more to get back there. And that's why I get critical about talking about time and how much time does Arteta need? How much time are we going to give it? Because we should demand the best, demand success. And I was giving Laurent shit, and we're bantering about, and he's right when he mentioned earlier that Abramovich came with money, but he did have ambition, because if one season Chelsea's not winning, coach is getting sacked, somebody's getting fired until they win again. And whilst I don't necessarily agree with that approach, I prefer and appreciate a more balanced approach. There's no way, obviously, someone like Arteta gets 5 years with no trophy at a club like Chelsea. But at the same time, I also don't necessarily believe in the impulsive approach of sack your manager in one season. Like, there has to be a balance. I get it. Arteta's done great things, and I believe that he can do great things with the right backing and the right support. But I just want to see us win the biggest trophies now. I'm tired of excuses. I want us to get back to the top and lifting the biggest trophies in the game, because that's where Arsenal Football Club deserves to be. Where I see us, we have a great foundation right now, because we have a team that's almost there. We do have a team that's almost there. We need to make the right moves in the transfer market, and we can get there. Whether that's like a striker and a midfielder, bolstering our forward line. Two guys to play alongside Saka on the left wing, and as well as a center forward. We're a couple pieces away. Our defense is already there. Our defense and our goalkeeper is good enough to win the league 100%. It's just a matter of getting the rest of the team, especially the front three, to match the quality of our back line. And I don't think that's too far away. I think the sporting director is key, Murdad. For you asking me that question, the fact that we brought in this sporting director, I now do see a positive future for us, because the sporting director is
He's not
experienced
an
and
Arsenal sporting director that we've seen in the past. He's not a
right,
he's not a
an
company
amateur,
man. Like I don't
right.
know how else to I don't know how else to say it, but he's not a company man. He's he'll challenge you.
Hmm.
He's got that, like punch in him to say, I want this, this is what we need to get. And the fact that, albeit I don't know how much validity there is in these rumors, but the fact that he's saying, I want Zubamendi, I want Guimaraes if they don't get to Champions League, and I want to get Chesko or Isak, like there's a different feel about the rumors. Like it
Hmm.
feels like there's a little bit more weight, whereas when Edu was here, and he did a great job, because this team right now is all Edu. Where he's gotten
Yeah.
us to, this is all Edu and Mikel. But for us to go to that next evolution, it has to be, someone that has the pedigree and that's shown that he can do it. Like I think we talked about it a couple pods ago, but he won La Liga when Ronaldo and Messi were there.
Hmm.
That's no joke. Like
Hmm.
when Messi and Ronaldo were in their prime, Atletico Madrid were they won. Of course he hasn't gone over the line with the Champions League, but he's been in a final, he's been in semis. They're always there. So, um, I listen. I agree with everything that you said for the next 5, 10 years. Um, I'm optimistic. I'm always the optimistic one, and I'm optimistic that I think in the next 5 years we are gonna win a Prem. And I would go out on a limb and say in the next 5 years I do believe we're gonna win a European trophy. I It's hard to say Champions League, because my only worry is, as much as I give Laurent shit, that team, if they can keep their core together, that team can be very scary. If they
Chelsea's
can
team?
keep if yeah, if Chelsea can keep the core together, maybe add a piece in their back line and add some experience in like 2 years, like they can be very fucking scary. I'm not worried about United. They need like they're starting where Mikel started with Arsenal. Like they need a complete overhaul of that entire team aside from Bruno Fernandes. Complete overhaul. Not this Lenny Euro, not this Aiden. No, 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 no. They need a complete overhaul. Um, but I think in the next 5 years, I think we're definitely going to win a Prem, and the European trophy. I'm if the trajectory continues the way it is, and Andrea Berta actually stays for the next 5 years, I think we'll win a Champions League because I don't think he's going to settle for anything less. Um,
Yeah, I think actually just to and before we give Laurent the floor to answer the same question about his club, like quickly I want to add, I do think we're on the right trajectory. Let me say that to conclude my statement. I do think we're on the right trajectory. When what that means in terms of will we lift the big trophies and how long that's going to take, I don't know. I personally don't think we have time to wait 5 years. I want to see in the next couple years. Um,
Fair.
but I think we are on. I think we're on the trajectory. What that means in terms of will we end up getting over the line? I hope so, but I can say that I do see us going up as opposed to down. Let's put it that way. I do see us going up, and I hope that up means that we finally get that tangible success that the club deserves. To be honest with you, and I think that's going to be that's starting with the appointment of
Andrea Berta.
Berta. I
Yeah.
think for sure.
Laurent,
So,
before
so
we pass it to you, I was watching the fan debate I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago, and Jamie Carragher said that he believes that Arsenal had peaked. Would you
mhm.
agree with that? Because I don't think we peaked because we still don't have a center forward.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Carragher and those guys talk a lot of rubbish, man.
I mean, for once, Gary Neville was actually saying no. And the funny part is I think it was actually on the overlap. And even Roy Keane was saying no. He's like, once they have a number nine, maybe, but they haven't had that yet.
And that's the thing. That's why it's hard for me to say we've peaked because we still don't know the full evolution of this team. Because I do believe that this season pained Arteta. Like it hurt him. He we saw the conference after the press conference or the interview, sorry, after the United game, where the interview asked him about the title race, asked him if us drawing against United was down to us missing a number nine, and the guy was walking out of the interview because he's pissed. Like he's tired of these questions. He's tired of sort of being trolled in a way about what he's missing and what he doesn't have. Like I think he's going to go into the summer actually wanting it, and he's going to feel the burn and the pain of the last year or two, and then he's going to be like, you know what, bro, it's time to get right and get serious, and hopefully the sporting director is there to help guide him on that. So we haven't really peaked yet until we see this final phase or evolution. And hopefully, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I had my doubts about the guy. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that this summer, here's your chance to get it right because there's literally no more excuses. And I'm sure even you, the most optimistic of fans, will admit to that. There's
Oh,
no more excuses.
100%, 100%. This summer has to be the Declan Rice summer, getting everyone in early.
Mm.
This has to be that summer. You really want to show your ambition. You really want to show everything. This has to be a Declan Rice, Kai Havertz summer. Get the players in early. Go to Dubai. Do whatever the fuck you got to do, and get these guys ready to go. And like get them fired up because teams are coming. But anyways, sorry to take the floor away from you, Lauren. But where do you see your club going? Where do you see your club going in the next 5, 10 years? Are you happy, sad? Do you have hope? Do you have no faith?
I mean, as things stand currently, I don't see I don't see much if I'm being completely honest. There are there are a few things that would have to change. For one, um, well, I think actually this has been implemented by the current owners, but I would like to see a bit more of a cutthroat environment, actually.
Mm,
Bring back the Abramovich era. Heck,
interesting.
honor the guy, you know? I mean, he's wherever he is, right? Probably running from away from EU sanctions, sorry. But no, I think I think the club deserves to have that kind of authority around again, right? It shows character.
Fair.
And especially if I'm comparing the current club to the Chelsea of yesteryear, there's a whole identity switch for me. It's I don't recognize this club anymore. Um, you would see, right, like I said, like back in the days, the kind of strikers we had, the midfielders, right, the quality, um, Lampard, Decos, like a bunch of guys, even like the Ashley Coles, right? These are guys that, compared to the players we have now, they can never lace their boots in comparison to those guys, right? It's a
I
different
mean,
aura.
Cucurella.
It's a different aura, mind you. Hey, that guy. Funny enough, he's the one guy that I see is playing with heart, a certain amount of heart and determination. But essentially, what I'm saying is those guys brought to them a certain aura, right? A certain level of character when they step on the pitch, right? When you're even if you're the opponent and you're seeing them down the tunnel, you sense something. You're turning on the TV, right? You're
Hmm.
tuning in to BT Sports. You sense something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, like you guys are laughing, but it's true. And now, right, when I see the lineup, Modric, mind you, right, that guy probably not gonna see a football
Mudrik?
pitch for, yeah, Modric, right, on the left, Jackson at top. I know that Mikel, John Obi Mikel was very critical of Jackson when we first signed him because he felt that Jackson was not the striker for Chelsea and the Chelsea identity, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, even our keeper, my gosh, Peter
Robert.
Cech, right? You had guys like Peter Cech. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
Um, so to me, it's a different caliber, and we have to bring that back. We have to bring that back, and in addition to that, so I mean, if we're willing to work with a manager that stays there, right, for X amount of years, heck, I would love to have a Sir Alex Ferguson. I think any club would love to have that. A guy that
Oh,
that's there for a while, that's winning you trophies, right?
stability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stability. But I think, heck, I don't know if Maresca has to be that guy. He's going to have to do some serious work over the summer. I think we're gonna have to let some guys go. We're gonna have to bring in some new personnel to build around the core elements of the team. In addition to that, I mean, I like his playing style, but I would like some tweaks also in terms of the type of game that we play. Where, like I said, right, I'm not too fond of the whole passing the ball in till you get to the 18, and then that's when you're looking to score. I know that
ask you a
football.
question, if you
Yeah,
don't mind, Laurent. Sorry to cut
yeah.
you off. Do you think Maresca regrets sending Kepa on loan to Bournemouth and keeping Sanchez?
Mm, that's a very good question.
Like, serious question, because
Um,
Kepa's like, whatever you make of Kepa, like he's a good shot stopper. Maybe he's not as great with his feet, but I would argue and say Kepa's way better than Sanchez, and we've seen it this season.
with his
Uh,
feet.
yeah,
Mm,
but
um,
just like what's your analysis of that? Because I know you're saying like Maresca has a lot of work to do and stuff like that. Like you guys had Kepa. Like
I,
Kepa's not a he's no slouch.
no, no,
Um,
he's definitely not. I do know that Kepa has caused a bit of grief in the past.
Of
However,
course, with Maurizio Sarri not coming
yeah.
off for the penalties, like,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm. I mean, whether he regrets it or not, I don't know. Only he would know that. The most I can say on that is, he's the one that got to see both of them, right?
mm,
Whether it was right in training or whatnot, and with the information he had, he made that assessment and that judgment, right? So who knows what he saw, right? And funny enough, that's usually what we see, right? Why is that player not playing, right? Um, but then these are right. They see it everything from behind the scenes that we're not seeing, right? So I'm sure they have their reasons. But yeah, no, I think we would definitely need a goalkeeper that could definitely fit into
Aaron
the system.
Ramsdale.
Uh, uh, I mean, for me, I'd say even but yeah, it'd have to be someone that's available, right?
Well, next season, if Southampton get relegated, Ramsdale's not going to want to play because he wants to play for England World Cup.
Mm,
And with all due respect to Southampton, Chelsea is a huge upgrade, and Chelsea do need a keeper.
and is he good? Is he good with his feet? Can he play out the back?
Better than what you got right now, yes, but not to the extent of David Raya. No,
See, but I don't even know if
I would put
the
him. I would put him in the same level of. And CJ, tell me if I'm right in saying this. I would put him in the same level as Martinez. I mean Martinez. He can do it. He's not the greatest. He can
mm,
Yeah,
hold his
that's a good
own.
comparison. Yeah, it's a good
He can hold
comparison.
his own. He's not like an Ederson or an Allison or a Raya. Like no.
but okay, funny enough, right? Besides just the skill, right? It's we don't even need a guy that is exceptional. We just need a guy that's good under pressure, that can keep his composure.
Oh, then
Uh, uh,
no. That's not Ramsdale. No.
no, because like when you really think about it, right? When you're seeing even the mistakes, even last game versus Arsenal, that one where Sanchez he had ample time, but then he kicked it and then it went straight to an Arsenal player on the
Hmm.
right things like that. It's because you've lost composure. Like the guy's
Hmm.
coming at you, you start to panic internally, and then you do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's not a skill issue. These things to me are right. Like, bro, you've been playing the game for how long? Kicking a ball, having the ball go in the air, right? It's not rocket science, but it's the fact that when that pressure, when the stressors come in real time in the game, you don't have the ability to keep your composure, right? So for me, that's what we need. Like if the keeper is a good shot stopper, right? Um, not the best with his feet. We don't need Ederson caliber, but he can keep his composure where he can, he knows when to make that safe that pass, and he knows when to lob it over, and he doesn't make those mistakes. I'll take that. I'll take that. But yeah, so if we can get that in order, I think we can start winning league titles within the next, I'd say even 3 years. Next year for me is out the window. I don't see that. Um, it's gonna take a lot more. Yeah. Uh,
And last
yeah.
question before we wrap it up for everyone. Probably that's the last question. If you got this far to the pod, thank you as always for listening. And whoever team you support, whether it's Arsenal, Chelsea, or anybody else, if you're listening, comment on YouTube, Spotify, on our Instagram, send us a DM and tell us where you see, the respective team that you support. Where do you see them going? Um, and let us know what made you fall in love with the sport and the team. But last question to wrap it up for today's pod. Um, what's one match day ritual or superstition that you have before watching any game? Or do you even have one? Do you even have a superstition or ritual before watching any game? If you guys don't mind, I'll go first. Yeah, I have a superstition. No matter what time the game is, whether it's 7:30 in the morning, 3 p.m., I have to be watching the pregame 30 minutes before. So if the game starts at 7:30, I'm up at 7. If the game's at 3, I'm starting to watch at 2:30 because I need to. I don't know what it is. I need to listen to that content. So I think CJ, you've seen me whenever we go to the bar on St. Clair. Like when you come in, I already have my AirPod in and I'm listening to TNT Sports, not BT, um, and listening to the feed and listening to Ian Wright and whoever's on there or Sky Sports, whichever channel that it's on. Um, I want to get the pregame because those people are there, right? Like they see the players coming in. They can feel the energy off of it. They can feel the energy of the atmosphere. whether it's going to be a hostile environment, if it's an away game, or it's the fans are up for those home games. For me, that's I don't know if I wouldn't call it a superstition, but I would definitely say it's a match day ritual. I always have to watch the pregame. What about you guys?
Well, I'll let CJ go first.
That's a tough one because like when I play myself is a little bit different than like pregame when I'm watching like my team, like Arsenal on TV.
If you don't
I
have
don't
one,
have
just
this.
share. Yeah, if you don't have one, then just share like a superstition that you have when you play, or like a ritual, like one ritual that you have when you play.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah. So I guess when I watch Arsenal, I don't have as much of a specific ritual these days, versus when I used to. For example, when I used to watch Arsenal, and we're talking like university days, maybe even before that, like high school especially, I felt I needed to rep Arsenal in some capacity one way or another, like whether that was like a kit, like I had to have like some sort of Arsenal kit or shirt on as I'm watching the game to feel like I'm sort of involved spiritually, whatever, trying to manifest the positive energy. Um, like I felt like I always needed to be wearing a kit or a t-shirt or something, to represent when Arsenal was playing. I don't do that as much these days, but um, I think now in terms of rituals and I play, yeah, I mean, I feel like I've lost a lot of that too. Like again, I think that also went with age. Maybe I'm just too old now. I'm an old miserable fuck. But yeah, when I was younger, the rituals and all that meant a lot more to me, whether it was watching or playing. When I was playing as well, like when I was younger at a higher level, it was your socks have to be at a certain height, with the shin pads and the tape. All that shit was important. If my socks were a little bit too high, and it's like, damn, that's not going to be a good game. But if my socks were at the right level, just below the knees, you know, and the tape was on point, the shin pads weren't too high. It's like, oh, I bet, this is going to be a good game. I'm feeling it today. So there's certain things, even pregame music and stuff like that, that doesn't get me as much these days. I think, those days are gone in terms of rituals and superstitions and all that. But yeah, man, I know it means a lot to a lot of people and a lot of players, and it may sound silly to some, but like even at the professional level, like you'd be surprised how many of these professionals have specific pre-game routines that they have to follow game in, game out. The professionals believe in them, trust me. So it's a real thing for some. Um, but yeah, Ron, I'm curious to know yours if you have any.
Okay, so as far as watching the games, no, I do not have any set rituals. So as for me, it's as easy as you turn on the TV, right? Or go to whatever streaming site you gotta go to.
On BT Sports.
Yeah, 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 that right there. Um, but I mean, when it comes to if I'm playing, right? Usually back in the days, at that point, it's you just kiss the badge on the Chelsea jersey. Yeah, on game day. Yeah, you guys heard about that one? Yes, no, maybe so.
Kiss the badge
Yeah,
when you were playing.
yeah, like on game days, like before you leave the house, you have your jersey in your closet, and then
Ah,
yeah, yeah,
okay, okay. So you do have this shit. This Chelsea kit does exist, is what you're saying.
no shit, Sherlock.
Okay, I wasn't sure. The viewers aren't sure either. Maybe one day we'll see it. But
Yeah, yeah, one day if you're lucky. But
Oh.
I don't know why
okay.
Murdad is laughing there. Is there something you want to share with us?
No, 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 no. I'm just enjoying my time.
Oh,
Enjoying.
okay, okay, okay. I was just thinking to myself, right? How nice of you to laugh when someone shares something very deep.
Oh, fuck. Oh, bro, that meditation got you real good, huh? That meditation got you real good.
Uh-huh.
Oh, frick. All right. On that bombshell, we're gonna be back next week. Well, this week and next week is the international break, so the next pod that we post after this one is going to be for the 31st of March, when we start to kind of break down the week that's upcoming, and start to preview the Real Madrid tie that's going to be coming, and just starting to get into that. We'll probably dive into a lot deeper as we get closer. But as always, we appreciate you guys, listeners, viewers, however you're listening to this content. We appreciate you. If you could just do us a solid, give us a like, subscribe, hit that bell. If you can leave us a review on Spotify, leave us a comment on YouTube or even Instagram. We appreciate it. Um, you know, co-hosts, I wouldn't even call them co-hosts. I'd call them good friends. Um, we made this just because our love for the game and our love for our relative teams, our respective teams, sorry. Um, and we just love watching footy. Our lives revolve around it. Um, so yeah, appreciate you guys. You guys want to add anything else before we wrap it up for the listeners and viewers?
No, well said. Well said. Hit the like and subscribe, man. We're here always.
Yeah, no. Same here, right? If you love what we have to offer, there's a lot more coming. We're gonna make sure that every episode, right, we're looking to bring more value to you guys. So for sure, right, hit the like, subscribe button, and stay tuned. Especially if you love the game and want to keep up, right, with everything Arsenal and a little bit of Chelsea here and there. Where were you guys? All right.
All right, everyone. Till next time. Adios.